Hello, welcome back to the TOEIC test reading for intermediate level. Today we're going to look at part 6 and we're also going to look at a little bit of vocabulary and a review. So part 6, as you remember, is text completion, and this is a new part for the exam. So first of all, let's remind ourselves of what is involved. There are 4 reading texts for the part 6 section, and examples are an article, an email, a form, or it could even be a letter. And in each text there will be 3 or 4 blank parts which you will need to fill in, and there will be 4 choices for each blank part, so you'll need to think carefully about the 4 choices and choose the best one. Right, so to begin with, we're going to look at letters. And the first example we're going to do is a letter from a company. And it is set in Australia. We can't read the whole letter at the same time because of limited space. So here's the first part of the letter. It's to Miss Melanie Wilson, and it says, "Dear Miss Wilson, I am to offer you part-time employment at Gordon Enterprises, working as a research assistant." Now the choices for this gap fill are 4. Pleasure, pleasant, pleasing, and pleased. So you'll need to think about the phrase "I am to offer you" and choose the best one. In this case the answer is pleased, D. Let's look at why. So the phrase is "I'm pleased to offer you." This is actually a phrase that you can remember, and it goes together as a chunk. And you can change the verb, so I'm pleased to announce, I'm pleased to inform you, I'm pleased to give you the opportunity, for example. In this case, it's "I'm pleased to offer you part-time employment." So, when we have a look at the choices here, A was pleasure. Now, pleasure is a noun, and it says "I am," so it's not going to really be a noun after that. B, C, and D are all adjectives: pleasant, pleasing, and pleased. Now, as adjectives, you'll need to think about where and which context you're going to use these adjectives. When you have "I am," you have the be verb, and you're going to have an adjective after that to describe your personal feeling. For personal feelings, you always need to use adjective plus ed. This is something which you've probably studied before, but is important to remember. So, for example, you can't say "I am pleasing," because that's only used for context or a situation. So you might say "the class is pleasing," for example. And when it's personal feelings, it will always be ed. I am pleased. Okay, now we're going to continue with this example. So the letter actually continues. Remember, it's all one letter together. "You will report to Dr. Anna Smith, who will give you your projects and explain your specific duties. As you will be working with confidential information, you will be required to the Code of Ethics Agreement for Employees." Your choices are A, lead, B, follow, C, revise, or D, advise. So you can see in this case C and D are very similar sounding, revise and advise. So they've tried to trick you up here. The answer is actually B, follow. You will be required to follow the Code of Ethics Agreement. Now, in order to answer this, you'll need to have a look at the sentence and work out what are they talking about. In this case, we have the noun, which is agreement. So the Code of Ethics Agreement. Now, an agreement can be a written document, it could be spoken. In this case, in an office, it's a written document. It's something that everybody's agreed to and they've written it down, kind of like a regulation. So we're talking about the agreement, and you need